Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. Now in today's video we're going to be looking at a brand new Mega Drive that I bought this year in 2025. I'm not joking, I'm really not. And here it is. Yeah, it's a brand new Mega Drive. We're going to unbox this, we're going to have a little look at it and have a play with it and maybe even crack it open and see what's inside and powering this oddity. So I was browsing on AliExpress and I realised that you can actually pick up new versions of old consoles. And I thought, I'm interested in this one, which is the Sega Mega Drive. Well, it's actually, for legal reasons, not called a Sega Mega Drive, it's called a Retroad ZD06. Yeah, it's a fully boxed console. I mean, obviously, it's not as cool as the original Mega Drive box, but I kind of like it actually. I really like the artwork on the top. I paid around about £45 for this, but what I'll do is I'll make sure I've got a link to this one, which I purchased, in the video description, so you can pick one up if you want to, or if you just want to have a little nosy at the listing for it. And if you want to buy anything from AliExpress, what I'll do is I'll put some codes on the screen here in between my hands. So if you want to buy something, you can get some money off. Now, the codes do have a limited life, so I'll put the expiry date and stuff for them on the bottom. But if you're too late to use the codes that are on the screen, I'll try and make sure that there are some up-to-date ones in the description. So yeah, if you want to pick up one of these or anything else at AliExpress, you can hopefully save yourself a bit of money. Yeah, I have not opened this. This is completely new to me, so we'll start learning about it together. I might say some things wrong, I might get some stuff wrong, but you know, that's what happens on my videos. And talking about my videos, if you like this kind of weird content, then make sure you're subscribing to my channel and give this video a like as well. I really appreciate it. So anyway, let's unbox a Sega Mega Drive in 2025. I mean, it looks very much like a Sega Mega Drive. That is weird. Wow, look. Okay, so we'll come back to him in a second. That's the main console. It mentions something about wireless joypads, which is weird. Oh, okay. Right, well, so we've got a UK power adapter. It outputs 9 volts at 1 amp. And it is a center negative and outside positive. So what have we got here? Okay, so we've got an HDMI cable. Actually looks like it's a fairly good length. Okay, yeah, so we've got some wireless controllers. Now, these don't feel like the old Mega Drive controllers. I'd be interested to know if this actually works with original Mega Drive controllers as well. We can try that out. Yeah, I mean, they don't feel like the best quality, but they don't also feel terrible. Yeah, we've got player 1 and player 2 marked, so I guess they're probably pre-paired in the factory maybe. But this is the guy I'm interested in. Well, let's have a little look around. So, yeah, this is a bit different from your normal Sega Mega Drive. I'll do a shot of the back, the original Sega Mega Drive, which had a sort of RF output. It had a little kind of weird DIN connector for RGB video, and it had the power input as well. But on the back of this one, we've got an HDMI output, amazing. We've got some composite video outputs, and we've got the AC in, and a weird switch for O and J. I don't know what that means. I don't think there's a manual. No. We'll figure it out. And then on the top, it looks pretty much like a Mega Drive. I think it's got a bit more of a Genesis-y look, because I'm sure the Genesis had this colour on it, although I might be wrong. The UK ones didn't look completely like this. Don't know about this 16-bit. I think that was different on the UK ones. Actually, I've got a UK one. I mean, I was actually planning on showing you some video footage to compare the original with my brand new one, but unfortunately this has died. So I mean, good, because it'll be a Fix It Friday at some point in the future, but bad because I can't do a direct comparison video. But it's actually like pretty weird how similar in some regards they look. You know, they've even got the sort of a shiny plastic here and here. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not as weighty because this is actually quite a chunky old console. This is definitely a lot lighter, and yeah, we'll have to see what's inside. But yeah, it's actually a pretty good reproduction. I think the plastic feels a little bit cheaper on this. So on the top here, we've got our headphone volume slider. Got a power switch, reset button, and then on the front, we do actually have controller ports. I wonder if those work. We'll have to test those. And yeah, we've got the headphone inputs, and then we've got the expansion port for the Mega CD. Oh, okay, that's sort of only there in spirit. It's not actually a port. And we can sort of see a little bit inside as well, yeah. I think this is going to look wild inside and very empty and cavernous, I imagine. So what does it say on the back? So it's an EVERGENESIS Retroad Mega Drive. I do wonder if this is actually here and works, because on the original Mega Drive, you could only get stereo sound through the headphone port. The video output didn't actually give you stereo sound, which was a bit rubbish. I think they changed that on the Mega Drive too. But I don't imagine that this is purely here for show, because they'd want to save money, I guess. Now, the only thing that I think might be a problem is a EVERDRIVE guy for this. And if you're wondering what an EVERDRIVE is, it's one of these. And again, I got this from AliExpress. I'll stick a link to this in the video description. And essentially, it's a game cartridge that has an SD card in it, and that's preloaded with loads of games. Now, these work absolutely fine on original Mega Drives, but I think these clone ones can have problems running these. A lot of the listings for these say they don't work on clone Mega Drives. So we can try it, but I'm not feeling very hopeful that this will work. But that's okay, because I do have a selection of Mega Drive games that we can try out and see if they work. And apparently this has got 400 games built in, so we're not going to be short of games. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's get some batteries into the controller. We'll try these controllers to start with, and then we'll try a proper original wired controller and see how that performs, if at all. Well, at least the screw's captive on the controller ports. Okay, so it's doing things. Now, the problem is with wireless controllers, especially on something as cheap as this, is there might be a bit of latency. So that's essentially the time it takes between you pressing the button and the signal being transferred from this to the console and the console acting on it. Now, you probably wouldn't notice it if you're just a sort of regular gamer or a kid messing around with it, but if you want to be competitive and time things perfectly, then that can be an issue. And that's why wired controllers are good, because there's pretty much no latency, or very minimal latency. Anyway, let me jiggle things around on here, and not like that, and we'll get it set up so we can both see what's going on. Okay, so we're all wired up, so hopefully, maybe if I turn this on, we might get to play the inbuilt games. Let's see what happens. Okay, so power lights. There we go. So we've got a bit of a menu going on. Lovely, look, there we go. I mean, this does actually look like a Nintendo controller. Well, let's go into 16-bit and see what we've got. Okay, so we press start. Oh, okay, so we've got quite a few games here. And they actually look like proper actual games rather than, you know, sort of random ones. Okay, this is interesting, isn't it? Sonic. Okay, so they do have the original Sonic. Actually, that's quite good because I've got Sonic and we can maybe compare the two. So let's go into Sonic. Oh, start is the button. There we go. Sega! Oh, language is that? I don't know what language that is. It must be running at 60 Hertz because that is faster than I'm used to. Let's press the... Yeah, there is a little bit of latency there. It's really hard to measure latency on an old console, but if you look when I'm pressing and when he jumps, it's like a split second. It's not terrible. Hang on. Wonder if that switch on the back does anything. I think it's in the J position. Let's put it in the O position. Okay, so that's not affected anything in the game at the moment. I mean, it works. It's quite good. Let's see what's in the 8-bit section. Is this Master System games, maybe? Yeah, these do feel like slightly cloney games. Chip and Dale, okay. Oh, yeah, I think this has got some sort of NES software on it. Dr. Mario, okay, let's see if there's a Super Mario. Don't know if there's any quicker way. So I think as well as being a brand new Mega Drive, it's also a brand new NES. Yeah, fine, whatever, that's fine by me. Small Mario, yeah, these are some clone games. Super Mario Brothers, let's have a little look at that. I know what this game looks and sounds like. The music doesn't sound like it's going too fast. Can you remember that cheap handheld console that I did a video about? The music on that was like silly fast. Oh, okay. So a reset takes you back to, doesn't take you back to the main menu. You have to turn it off and then back on again. Yeah, and it says it's outputting at 1080p at 60 Hertz as well. So that's accurate. A lot of these things that say 1080p, they're quite often just 720p. I am actually a lot more impressed with this than I thought I would be. Well, all the controller buttons work okay. That's really, it's mad. I wasn't expecting it to work this well. I must admit, I was expecting just a lot of random ROMs, a bit like the NES section was. Right, okay, so we've tried some of the inbuilt games. What does it do with actual cartridges? So this is the PAL version of Sonic 1, so will it work? Ooh, it doesn't feel very consensual, but okay. Yes. Loves it. I've never seen a Mega Drive look this good. The graphics just look insane. I must admit, the wireless control pad actually feels alright. It doesn't feel terrible. I suppose we should see if the headphone port is a fake or not. I've just got some headphones here. Yeah, headphone port works as well. Amazing. Right, what does it think of an original controller? Let's see if those controller ports are real or fake. Okay, so let's move the wireless controller out of the way, turn it on. See what it thinks of our original guy. Can confirm it works! That is mental. Okay. Right, something I want to try is Theme Park. Because it's an electronics arts game, they come in these weird cartridges. And I don't know if they're any different inside, but they're certainly different outside. So let me just see if that game works. Yes. Yeah, all good. Now I think this might be where all the wheels fall off. So yeah, here's our EVERDRIVE. I think that's some sort of reset button on the top. I am guessing this won't work. What do you reckon? Put in the comments now with the timestamp what you think will happen. Will this work or not? Let's see. It works! No way! Oh my god! I was not expecting that. It's like it's a real console. Let's try Aladdin. Ah, that could be... See, it doesn't think that it's a PAL system. So if we turn it off, maybe if we flip the switch and then try it again, maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe, I don't know. No, okay, that's interesting. So it's having a bit of trouble identifying what this console is. So if I go, oh look, they've got Japanese games. Try a bit of Afterburner. Actually, I probably should have tried Aladdin, but never mind. Okay, so it's obviously confused a bit by the copy protection, but there we go, it's booted straight away. Love Afterburner. I am fascinated by this. Okay, well, I'll make sure there's a link to that EVERDRIVE in there because it seems to be happy with some of it. What if I try Aladdin on American? Have they got Aladdin on here? Yeah, Aladdin. Yeah, I don't know how the sort of copy protection and things work on the Mega Drive. I'm really intrigued to see inside this now. We'll have to do that next. To get out the grey mat and crack it open. I imagine it's just going to be a circuit board and a few ribbon cables. I don't imagine there's like an actual Mega Drive motherboard in there. Okay, well that works fine. So obviously it seems to have a bit of trouble recognising the PAL-ness of this system. I think what we should do now is get out the grey mat and crack this open and see what's inside because... yeah, I'm interested, and I think some of you will be too. So let's do that. I was actually looking at the label on the back here, and I was trying to fathom out what language it was. And I thought it was something sort of a bit Baltic-y. Did wonder if it was Russian, but it seems, if I use Google Translate, it seems to be Belarusian. Bit random. Anyway, let's get into this. This doesn't take very long to disassemble, so I'm going to shout out just a few of my channel members on the more upper tiers. If you want to become a channel member, then scan the QR code in the corner of the screen for details. Anyway, so first of all, big love to all the Kip fans. Then we've got the Kip early birds, who are Tim Salt, Sorcerer Stan, Mark C, Rob Lynn and Will Bennett. Then we've got the Kip lovers, who are Bella Webster, Stesticspix, Lawrence, Scott Kendall, Props Retrofix, Chelsea B, DD Media Production, J Russell Retro Gaming and Lee Benz. And then finally, right at the top there, we've got our incredible Kip nutters, who are Becky Boobar, Alan Green and the My Mate Vince fan club over on Facebook. Big love to all of you. Anyway, let's see what's inside this Mega Drive. Right, okay. Wow! Interesting. Very interesting. Now, unfortunately, because the LED is soldered onto the top of the case, it does make it a little bit hard. That's what she said. Tell you what, I'm going to desolder this LED and then we can have a closer look together. What have we got here? So this is the board where our headphone output is, and yeah, it's all connected up and wired. It's got the power switch here, the volume slider, little clicky reset button. It's interesting. There's a lot of hot snot in here. And then here we've got our sort of video output board. I guess that converts the stuff from HDMI into the composite, and that's our power board as well. Make sure it's nice and close, so if you're interested in what stuff is, you can pause it and have a little nerd out. And then over here we've got that weird switch that we didn't quite get to the bottom of. If you know what that switch is, put it in the comments, because I'd be interested to know. But yeah, that is our O and J switch. And this seems to be like the main processing board, I guess. So it doesn't have like a blob chip. Oh no, it does have some blob chips. There we go. There we go. Move that slightly out of the way. Let's get nice and close. So you chip perverts can have a little look at what's going on. I think what's quite cool is I was slightly worried because I'd sort of seen a bit of hot glue and stuff through the sides. I was a little bit worried about how the cartridge slot is held into position, but it's actually held in directly into the case with these screws. So yeah, I was slightly worried pulling the games in and out that I'd be just pulling against some hot glue, but it is properly mounted to the board, so that's really good to see. And then we've got sort of these two extra boards here. So this obviously handles the controls and inputs, and then that just leads to the board that the controllers plug into. It's kind of weird because it's sort of set up for another switch, and there's an LED space there as well. So I wonder if this is sort of like another console or something that's sort of been bastardized a bit to fit into this case. I don't know. It's quite strange. But yeah, it's definitely a lot emptier in here than the original Mega Drive is. Right, okay, well, I'm going to solder the wires back on and put it back together, and then we can finish up the video. So let's just do that with the power of YouTube. Well, there we go. All back together and looking, well, like a Mega Drive. I've got to be completely honest with you. I had no idea how this video was going to turn out. I'm actually over the moon with this little guy. I think it's so cool. It's got a modern HDMI connection on the back, so you can play it on a big screen, modern TV with no issues whatsoever. It comes with wireless controllers that you can enjoy out of the box, and it's got lots of games built into it, again, that you can enjoy out of the box. Obviously, they're not in English, and I don't think they're in Japanese. I'm not sure what language they're in, maybe Belarusian, who knows. But I guess so long as you're not playing an RPG or anything, then you get the gist of most things. But if you want to play some proper original cartridges, you can, which is just mental. And it just kind of works really nicely. And add into that you could use an EVERDRIVE as well. Got a really cool retro gaming system here. Now, the NES stuff that's included in it, yeah, you know, it's fine, but I wouldn't be using this as a NES. I'd use this as a Mega Drive that I could plug into my modern TV. How long will this last long term? Dunno. But it's built with modern components and things like that, so should be all right. But yeah, honestly, I'm really happy with it. What do you think about stuff like this in the comments? I know people said there will be some purists who will be quite annoyed with this and everything like that, but I think for the sort of Joe in the street who just wants to play some old Mega Drive games in an original format, you really can't go wrong with this. Do let me know if you've enjoyed this video and if you want me to pick up some other new consoles and to try them out. I really enjoyed doing this and seeing what was inside and testing out and seeing how it worked. So yeah, if you're interested in content like that, do let me know in the comments and maybe I'll pick up a few more console oddities like this in the future. If you've watched this far into the video, maybe put "that looks like some 16-bit fun" into the comment section. just to see if you're paying attention. But yeah, I don't think I've got anything else left to say. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But for now, it's game over.